in the completion of a project. So earlier you mentioned about the norming, storming, and what else, performing, and all the, yeah, all the stages that we have to go through. So there is a lot, or the Tuckman's ladder of team development. So there's a lot of learning that we can have here with regards to how everybody approaches a task. And I wanted to share that I think I have mentioned this to you as well, but for the benefit of the other participants, there is a thing called DISC. Have you heard of DISC? DISC. Although I think the mayor's break, the MBTI, is more popular, but the DISC is a very effective tool to find out what are the strengths as well as the challenges of each member of the team. So the DISC is used, first of all, to have an assessment of what are your strengths and what are your challenges. And then it gives you a chance as well to assess others. Although there is a formal way of doing it, like you answer a questionnaire online and you will get a printed report for that. Now, I was conducting this workshop for Emirates National Bank of Dubai, as well as for the leaders of um, Africa, and also for
Oh.
the Abu Dhabi government, where we we've done the assessments for the behavioral style of each member. And to make it easier, there is an analogy of the four birds. Like D is the dominant, we normally refer to it as the eagle, and then you have I influencer, which is the parrot, and then you have S, which is the steady, and it refers to the dove. And then we have the C, the conscientious, which refers to the owl. So each of them have their own strengths and challenges. So for the eagle usually has a big picture of the entire project, and they could see somehow the completion of it. They are more directive in their approach. They could appear to have, to be less emotional because they are task oriented. They at times have that ego in them that they're good in what they're doing, and they would like to be always on the front. And then you have the I, the parrot, who is considered as the life of the party, who is as well very good in communicating and sharing ideas and really inspiring everyone. Like as I said, this the sunshine and the dark moments. So the parrot can serve as someone who is the cheerleader when things don't go right, which is expected. It's not always walk in the park when you're handling a project. There will be setbacks, there will be challenges. But the parrot is the one who has the sense of humor, who makes you see the brighter side of life. And then the dove is the one who does all the tedious task of following methods, following standards, and the meticulous tasks that some people wouldn't like to do. And then you have the conscientious one, who is the owl. The owl is the one who would like to make sure that you are considering the risk in the project, highlighting all of this so that you will not fail, or you will have the necessary precautions so you will not encounter difficulties that can disrupt the project. So knowing their characteristics and behaviors, you as a leader, as a project manager, you can assign tasks that would
Mhm.
somehow utilize their strengths, and as much as possible, if you can eliminate giving those tasks that are not really their strengths and give it to someone who has the strength, then I think that storming stage is not going to be a long stage, because as much as possible
Mhm.
of all those stages, the one that
Mhm.
we would like to minimize is the storming stage, because that's the one that is not um well,
Mhm.
it is productive in a
Yeah,
way because you get to know each other, but as much as possible,
got it.
pass on that storm so that you can perform effectively and perform in the project. So
Interesting.
it is a very useful practice to know this,
Yes.
because instead of saying like, hey, you know what, you're too critical about this thing, and instead of that, they could just use, hey, you're using your all today, something like that.
Wow.
Or when somebody is too assertive or aggressive, and and they could just, you don't say, you're appearing to be so aggressive, then you would say like, hey, your eagle is high today. So in that way,
Mhm.
you have a certain language to describe the behaviors, and it will not necessarily offend them, because
Mhm.
they understand that with the strengths come the weaknesses, or we don't call them weaknesses, the challenges. But if
Right.
you work as a team, you will leverage that, and you will make the most of the strengths and cover each other's challenges, so that everybody will be effective in contributing for the success of the project. So I thought
Yeah.
I want to share that, because like I
No,
can't just leave it
it's
aside.
important
No,
and
this is
it's
something that
very relevant.
benefit
Yeah.
others. Thank you for giving me this chance.
Yeah. And we would love to hear from you about MBTI. Maybe
No,
not
it's
today.
called DISC. It is
Ah.
replacing MBTI, because MBTI is very old and
Mhm.
they haven't upgraded it. The
Mhm.
disk is a very good tool because it's updated on a regular basis. And now with the introduction of the four birds, it makes it even easier for those who are taking it to remember them, because the MBTI is a combination of letters that tells you like you're introvert, extrovert, and all
Yeah.
of this. Whereas here you only have to remember four birds.
Yeah.
So I would be happy to share this in detail in the future, given the opportunity.
Yes.
I hope the rest of the participants got some insights into it. And yeah, if you are involved in any project, I think this could be a very good enhancement, because usually, Sham, if I'm right, I know that IT companies like Microsoft, Apple, and
Mhm.
HP, and all the big names, they have retreats, right? The
Very
team, when they're in the new project, I read that when Steve Jobs was still alive, he would take his team to the mountains somewhere and go
yeah.
hiking, and they have really good food. When they have a new product, like if they have a new version of the compute iPad or iPhone, he will take his team who are involved in that project and go on a retreat, and the retreat will be a way of getting to know each other, getting to understand each other's strengths and challenges, and bonding. Because when you bond with someone, the work becomes fun
Yeah.
and easier than when you are hostile or really indifferent with each other, or you just don't know each other on a personal level. Well, you don't really need to know
True.
everything about the person, but somehow have an idea on what are his strengths that can contribute effectively for the completion of the project so that you can capitalize on that, right?
True, 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 true. All right. So thank you very much, Gigi, for wonderful insight into, and you taught us today about DISC. And this is what I understood, that it's the personality assessment. And as early as we do it, we would be avoiding the situation like storming situation in our team, because we would know that certain personality type is actually uh, is actually more focused toward data, and certain personality type is more focused towards compliance, and the other is more focused towards enthusiasm, and so on. So we leverage on those strengths, and then we could create the harmony within the team while appreciating
Well, you got it
their
right. Thank you so
individuality.
much. You were
Yeah.
able to really relate it um,
Yeah.
to project management.
Now, bit more about the values that I talked earlier. And in project teams also, when we work with people, we want people to value uh, certain attitudes, like they should be responsible enough that if they took a decision, they uh, should be owning those decisions, or they didn't take a decision, they should be owning that decision. So we should be responsible in whatever decision we have taken. We should own our decisions, or we haven't taken, we should own our decisions. Similarly, in dealing with the suppliers, vendors, we should be fair on projects, because we should not be having any conflict of interest, and we should not be promoting our own interest, self-interest, while we see the opportunities in the projects. So that's not fairness. Fairness is that you, wherever you see conflict of interest, you distance yourself from that. Then uh, then we should be honest enough to call a spade, right? To call a progress as a progress. As I said, we should be honest and truthful in a manner in our communications, right? Similarly, we should be respectful, and we should demonstrate our self-respect as well as regards for the other resources, putting ourselves in their shoes, and we should always be giving respect, and then we expect that we will be getting respect as well. So these are the four values which BMI also introduced in their code of ethics and professional conduct. And from exam point of view, you will be tested on these values, remember. And it will be implicit testing, like exam question won't be asking you that it's about responsibility directly, or respect, or fairness. They will assess if you are a responsible project manager or a team member through the choice that you will make as an answer of the scenario. Similarly, respectful, fairness, honesty will be also tested. And remember that it will be situational question that will test yourself. Bit of review, what I already have talked about, a team charter, which includes the roles and responsibilities, team goals, milestones, objectives, and most importantly, the ground rules, which we talked about, that what are the values of the team, what are the working hours, what are the conflict management methods, decision-making methods, and how often we will be meeting, and with what frequency, and our rules, like we'll post these ground rules on the wall. Okay, so it will be visible for everyone, and we can make everyone accountable of these ground rules. let's say a person who is not attending the meetings on time, we can direct him towards the wall. We can say, look, you are meeting, you are breaking our ground rule. We agreed that we should be meeting on time, then we should be meeting on time. So we can ask, make each one of us accountable of those shared working hours, shared what to talk, what to promote, what not to talk, and we can refer them. In case of conflicts and issues, we should refer what is the conflict management and escalation procedure. Let's use and let's divert to that. Sample team charter that I already mentioned that it has the team roles, responsibilities, scope of work, objectives, milestones on the same ground as we had the details about the project in the project charter. But in addition to that, it has a bit more roles and responsibilities related to team. And we have the ground rules, which is one section as part of this team charter. We discussed communication in detail in the last lecture. However, when it comes to project communication, it may happen in a verbal and non-verbal manner. And we may do written communication on projects, or we may do official communication which are related to contracts. So we may have either um, written documents or emails. We may use the body language. We may have communications which happen face to face. We may have communications which are through manners like push and pull methods that we send across some project status report. And we may also see communications in terms of meetings that we do or the facilitations that we facilitate our team on daily basis, like daily stand-up meeting. And we may have some lessons learned meeting, which is part of the traditional project management. When the project finishes, we conduct a lessons learned session with the team. And similar to that, in agile environment, we have a retrospective meeting. And retrospective meeting is just like a lessons learned meeting, but it happens quite often. Since in Agile, we have small projects of, let's say, 2 weeks. We call them iterations or sprints. So at the end of every sprint, we meet in a retrospective meeting with our team. And we reflect and we adjust our processes, our learnings, so that we should not make those mistakes while we meet each other in the next sprint. I talked about the team composition. It could be co-located or distributed in a virtual team environment. Expect that you will be also facing these issues while working with the remote teams. You need to make sure that they have each and every possible technology that you need to provide them so that they should be feeling engaged while working with them. They should have access to the internet, laptop, and the communication tools which you use often to interact with them so that they should not feel that they are working in silo. And most preferably, we will be having co-located teams which work under one roof and they use the similar workspace. And I said that the benefit of that is that we also can leverage on the osmotic communication which happens between the co-located teams. We do have challenges while we interact with the diverse team or visually distributed teams. But with the help of technology, we can leverage. But one thing we should be very particular that it's not in, understood thing that certain part of the or word or certain countries, people in certain countries are not familiar with certain tools. So we should, the diversity means that we should acknowledge this fact that it's not it's possible that people in one part of the world are not familiar with Microsoft Team or Zoom. They might be familiar with certain other tools. So we should also acknowledge that people who are new to a tool, we should give them the time to learn a new tool, and it's just a tool. Remember, our agile value says that we value more interactions and between the people and their interaction is what we value more than following any tool. So just focus on people. Don't focus yourself more on the tools and the technology. And while you run the virtual meetings, we should also be considerate of the fact that what are the facilitation rules which applies during a real meeting. We may have to apply all those rules. We give the chance to people to speak, to ask for the feedback, and so that it should be engaging. Not one person is speaking, but we should hear out everyone individually so that everyone should feel engaged. Well, so we talked about some tools like technology, but we have some basic tools when we work with the teams which are co-located. We may have task boards which are visual tools, like everything we call it like paste it on a wall. So these kind of sticky notes which we paste on a wall as the idea placeholders, they really they're really engaging. Something physical is always really engaging. If we work with the team with the sticky notes in our hand and we are posting the ideas together there on the wall, it will always be engaging, and it will be it will give more insights, and more free flow of ideas will happen. I know it can be done remotely as well, but by leveraging technology. But yeah, it's an interesting exercise, like conducting brainstorming sessions with the sticky notes while people are at one place. Do it and feel it. It will be free flow of ideas, and people will be really excited to share their ideas and paste them on the wall, and then discuss those ideas on the merit of the ideas. Yeah, so we can leverage on various tools like video conferencing, and we can leverage on the two tools which are important nowadays we use to collaborate are the in IT industry is the Jira, which is for the task management or the requirements management. When we need to define our requirements, we create stories on Jira. And another thing is we have we create a Kanban board. We create a Kanban board, which is also to manage the flow of work from beginning till the completion. So we may create some interesting lanes, like I would take you to the Excel quickly. And in a Kanban board, it's nothing but flow of work, which is distributed between various lanes on a Kanban board. If my Excel is opening, I will quickly take you through. So what does your backlog look like? It is the items which are not started, let's say, and then uh, what you have already started working on, it would be in progress. So you may have various items which
I'm
are in
sorry
progress.
to interrupt, Sham. You have mentioned what's that? Jira? The
Yeah,
first
I
one?
mentioned that we can create a Kanban board, and
Yeah, the
I
first
mentioned that
one.
we have a Jira tool,
Jira.
which, yeah, yeah, Jira.
Can you expand
And
more on that, please?
yeah, it's a service desk, or it's a we call Jira as a company, but they provide a service desk or the ticketing management system. Okay. Yeah. So it comes from Jira, or it comes from Microsoft Azure as well. Microsoft Azure also has this tool, but both provide us the flexibility to create a Kanban board. And Kanban board is all of our user stories. Let's say we have user stories which need to be worked on. They will be in the current state, let's say not started. We can define these stages of the work. So these are the stages of the work flow. like how work flows from stages of workflow, like how work flows in this type of industry. So we pick up the work, it becomes in progress. By the way, we create this Kanban board for each developer. So for example, my tasks will be always here, what I need to work on. If I picked up the tasks and I am working on, these will come here. And if I have worked on it and it is marked for review, it means that it is marked for review for the tester, then they can test it. And if the tester has tested it, it will go to the done stage. So these workflows are pretty much in our own hand. We can define these stages, the names, how we want to define. But I just mentioned very basic uh, flow of work that
Yeah,
first the
sorry.
work is,
Can you share with us later on the links for these tools
yeah,
so we could see the actual example of it?
yes, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
We can purchase this tools from Microsoft.
yeah,
So it's a software.
you will get, yes, Danish, any question?
Another question and just an adding comment. For example, in Microsoft, you mentioned Azure, but for example, we are not using Azure. But within Microsoft, there is a app that's calls Microsoft Planner, and that does exactly what you were describing. It you can have Kanban board, you can have different workflow, let's say boards where you can have all the team members writing their
Yeah,
tasks and you follow it up. So
yeah.
it's called Microsoft Planner.
True, there is a Microsoft project as well. So project nowadays, Microsoft Web project, the web version does provide you the Kanban tool as well. So any of these tools which you just mentioned and which I just listed here, these are available in the cloud subscription model, and we can have a subscription for $5 to $10 per month. So if we are working on distributed teams, we can utilize these tools. And exactly as as Danish has mentioned, that now Microsoft also have Microsoft Planner, so we can utilize that. And if we have a if we have, yeah, we can also go for MS Project, which is traditional tool, and the web version is excellent. I'm using nowadays the MS Project in the web version, and I'm using the Jira as well in my daily day-to-day job. I was using Microsoft Azure in the a year ago with one of the bank because they had this. One more thing I want to mention is that Jira and Microsoft Azure, these are DevOps tools because it's not about only flow of work which is managed in these tools, but end-to-end releases are managed in these tools as well. Plus, we can have code merging and we can take code to the production environments. So the all the environments are managed here as well. So let's say a developer, he works in a development environment first. So so then this code moves from development environment to testing environment. And then that's another machine or that's another environment. And then from testing, it moves to pre-prod environment, which is pre-production. And then from pre-production, it moves to production environment. So the code deployed on, I mean, development environment, and then the code again deployed on testing environment, and then again deployed on pre-prod, and then again deployed on production. This process is called DevOps process. Like you have different stages, and then you are moving the code from various staging environments, right? So these tools provide you your development team with this deployment facilities as well. Anyways, so I went in bit detail of it, but it will really help you guys. Now, it's already end of the lesson, but just one more slide is remaining. So when we have virtual team members, so we should always be considerate of the fact that we should assign them the tasks and the responsibilities, at least not like direct them to the tasks and responsibilities in a traditional way, but we should have KPIs for them that they also are working on the finishing the task, just like the physically resources which are present with you. So virtual team member is always responsible like the way a physical resource is, the co-located resource is. Doesn't mean that virtual team member can relax and the other team members are not are taking the big share. Remember, we are a team and it's a team responsibility. So no matter where you are working from home or working from office, it's a shared goal and we have one single purpose as a team. So always we should be clear that that the difference distance between us should not be the reason for not delivering. Now, from the exam perspective, we have touched today the ground rules, the team charter, the how we form a team. We discussed about engaging virtual teams with a diverse group of teams from different cultures, global team members. We discussed about what are the benefits of working in a co-location and what are based on the technology today we can leverage technology to work with the remote people as well. All right, guys, any question from today? Yes, Fatima.
Yes, I want to share about the software tools that we use for managing projects, especially in Scrum and Agile. The Jira is also the one. The Microsoft Azure is one. Asana is also one. Right, ClickUp, Trello. They are all. I send the link for the Altisan Jira,
Mhm.
so they can do the
You
free. There is like in the link you can go and make your account and use that as a free also. There is a free trial also. The Asana is also
wow,
like that. You can use it free.
wonderful. So,
So the
guys,
link is
the links
there.
are here.
That's thank you so much, Fatima. That's really
You're
very
welcome.
kind of you to
This is
share. Very
very
thoughtful.
easy. Like all of those project, you can do it like Kanban board and everything, making stories. Everything is like over there. It's not a big deal to learn that thing. It's just only 15 minutes to learn that whole software. It's not a big deal. If you are in
Thank you,
a
Fatima.
working environment, you can immediately learn what to do in that software. It's just like
Sham,
an app
you
that's
could kindly take this the links and share them on our messenger because this
Sure.
the chat is only temporary, right? Here in Zoom. If
Yeah.
you could just have that on our or I don't know in the dashboard wherever the what the that Fatima had shared. Maybe you could give us a short demo later whenever there's a chance for these
Why
tools.
not? Why not? All
I
right.
wanted to ask, Sham, has
Yes.
anybody used
Go ahead.
Monday and also Mind Manager?
yeah. The Monday is
Monday.
also the similar like Jira. Monday is also
Is it
similar like Jira.
you've used Monday,
No,
Fatma?
I did not actually. I learned from Coursera and other platforms. So those who usually used in the companies like Jira, Asana, Rike, and Trello, and usually these are Microsoft Azure. These are Microsoft Azure is like very famous nowadays. But so these are the famous one that companies are using. Monday
Mhm.
is like mostly we've seen the advertisement on YouTube. So that's also the similar, but usually the Altisan like Jira
Mhm.
and Asana they use it more in
Have you heard of Mind Manager, mind mapping?
mind mapping. Yeah, I do that. The Mira you were saying about it, Miro.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I
the
did.
Kanban is there in Mind Manager as well.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
Monday has it, but Mind Manager has it. But I just wanted to know if, like all the other tools, are easy for others to learn because
I will say Altis and Jira is like it's very easy to use because it's give you not only how
yeah.
to use it, There are all the explanation and everything also
Excellent.
in there.
Because
Like,
see, Microsoft Project is excellent as what Sham had mentioned, especially the web version of it. However, it is not something that is easy for others to adapt to, especially if they are new to project management concept, because not everybody knows the project management concepts and they'll dive straight away into MS Project. But something like Monday, I heard, and
yeah,
of course,
Asana
Mind
and
Manager
Jira and Asana.
on
Altison is
Jira.
like
Okay, I,
they
I
are
wanted to
explaining
try that
also.
out. And thank
Yeah,
thank
they
you
are
so much,
explaining how
Fatima.
to use it.
This is the advantage of attending a course with others because you get to learn from their experiences. And I think I see the value of it now by most especially that you're contributing and sharing your experience with the tools, the softwares that you're using. Thank you very much. I really
Thank you.
appreciate
You're
this.
welcome.
All right, so let's call it a day, night, wherever you are. I'll see you in the next class, guys.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody.